Okay folks, here's a quick review of the Walmart exclusive movie edition Spider-Man figure that was produced by Hasbro as part of the Amazing Spider-Man line of products. I got two of these figures as a trade through the Marvel Universe Collector Club forum from users Workaholic and Ross11359. So I wanted to thank them publicly on YouTube for shipping them to me, and hopefully we can do some more trading in the future. Workaholic's figure will be used for this review, while the figure Ross11359 sent me has become part of my Mint on Mint card collection of the Spider-Man figures. Alright, this figure never showed up in any Walmart stores in my area. And I also searched out of town looking for this figure, but was unsuccessful. Thankfully, Workaholic and Ross were able to find them for me in their respective areas, so that I could have a complete set of these Walmart exclusive Amazing Spider-Man figures. Okay, when I first got the figure out of the blister pack, I have to admit, I was a bit disappointed. Right away, I noticed that there were two warp joints on the figure, with one being the right elbow and the other was the right knee. I was able to get the right knee somewhat straightened out when I posed the figure on his stand, but the right elbow, that looks to be a lost cause, as it appears to have a very nice stress mark on the inside portion of its joint. Now, I don't know if the majority of these figures came out looking like that or not, but the figure that Ross sent me also appears to have a similarly warped right elbow joint in its packaging. So therefore, I have to say that the quality control department at Hasbro kind of fell asleep on the job. That being said, I do think that the unmasked head sculpt is a fairly good likeness of Andrew Garfield, the actor who portrayed Spider-Man. The figure's body is essentially a retooling of the masked Spider-Man from this same Walmart exclusive line. The only difference that I could see, aside from this Spider-Man figure being unmasked, was that the hands, they're posed differently on this figure, with the right hand being closed in a fist and the left hand in an open position. All joints on the figure, even the defective right knee and right elbow, they all worked fairly well out of the package, although the shoulders were a bit stiff. But that being said, I had no major problems in the neck area, the wrists, the mid-abdominal crunch joint, the hips, the knees, or the ankles. Paint apps were done fairly well on the costume, although I noticed that there was a bit of flesh paint overspray in the area around his right ear. So let me pause here, zoom in, and I'll give you a closer look as to what Spider-Man looks like. Okay. Spider-Man comes with 3 different accessories in addition to the figure stand that you see him standing on. So let me pan down real quick and I'll show you what they are. The figure stand is the same Build-A-Base design style that came with the Walmart exclusive Avengers figures and the Return of Marvel Legends Series 3 figures. Okay, first up, here's a skateboard. This is rather plain looking, and it also looks to be slightly out of scale with the figure size. However, I feel that it still works well for a display accompaniment. It does have working wheels. It rolls fairly well, as you can see. And on the underside, there are some scratches and dents, and I felt that that added to the design aesthetic showing previous usage. Okay. Next up, here is Peter Parker's backpack. Again, this looks okay, but if I remember correctly, the movie backpack was a darker color than this one. So I'm going to have to review my Amazing Spider-Man Blu-ray and see if I'm remembering that correctly. There is a black elastic band right around in there, and that allows you to strap the skateboard onto the backpack just like you saw Peter Parker doing in several scenes in the movie. Okay, and finally, here is the alternate masked head sculpt. This gives you the option to display this figure masked or unmasked if you so choose. Swapping the heads out was fairly easily accomplished, and I had no major problems doing that. Alright, back to the figure itself. What I'll do now is a quick 360 of Spider-Man, and let you see what he looks like from all sides. Okay. So overall, I think this figure it's fairly decent. The problems with the right knee and the right elbow were quite disappointing, but as I said earlier, I'm blaming the quality control department at Hasbro for that issue. The accessories were also a bit on the unimpressive side. However, I do think that this figure it's a fairly good likeness of Andrew Garfield, and I also think that this figure makes for a good display item for your desk. So therefore, I'm going to give this version of Spider-Man a borderline good recommendation. Okay, so on that note, take care and stay tuned for my next review. Have a good one, and be sure to check out the Marvel Universe Collector Club forum. There are a bunch of nice people who routinely post on there, and we're only interested in helping collectors fill in the holes in their respective collections. We're not looking for any profit. We're not looking to scalp anybody. So swing on by and give the forum a look. And thanks again to Workaholic and Ross11359 for the trade. All right, take care and have a good one.